Welcome to Finest Work Songs. My name is Matt.
My name is also Matt. Those sounds are the sounds of celebration.
Matt, what are we celebrating today?
This is our 50th Epipod. What'd you get me?
I got you a coupon for Arby's.
I'm cheap, so I signed up for all these like free birthday deals with different places. I did get one from Arby's. It was for a free milkshake with the purchase of a sandwich.
That's great. Did you do it?
I failed to cash that baby in.
Your wife had plans to take you out to this really nice restaurant. You got that coupon, you run out the door. Get in the car.
Yeah, we're going to Arby's. She's like, but I've got my melting pot clothes on.
It's her prom dress. What do you wear to melting pot?
Prom dresses, naturally.
If anyone out there went to the melting pot for their prom dinner,
Yes.
or if you know anyone, please let us know.
Yeah, email us or something.
Which we are talking, listeners, about two things that we have loved over our 50 Epipods.
Yep.
One is Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even
Love
remember
it.
how that came up.
What does it matter at this point?
And the other one is the melting pot.
Melting pot.
Yeah, it came up because it's terrible.
I obviously started in like the roaring 70s.
The roaring 70s.
It's called the roaring 70s, right?
It's called the swinging 70s.
The swinging 70s.
Gross.
The gross 70s.
Yeah.
The avocado green 70s.
A lot of fun, a lot of memories, thanks to those who have been on the journey with us from the beginning.
Yes.
And to all those who have jumped on the bandwagon.
Hop aboard. Plenty of room.
We won't hurt the horse.
Nope.
I'd like to thank all the people that have made this possible. Chang and Ing Bunker, the original Siamese twins.
Yep.
Michael Winslow.
Of course, Michael Winslow.
Bobby Brown.
Bobby Brown.
Of
Bobby B.
course.
Bobby B.
And who else are some of our heroes?
Oh, man.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Billy Ray Cyrus. Gosh. I mean.
Benson Mule Days.
Shout out our sponsors. Benson Mule Days.
And to all of our guests,
Yes.
including, most importantly, our wives.
Who allow us to do this nonsense and put up with it and occasionally listen.
Well, let's not push it too far. They allow us to do it.
They allow us to do it. Yeah, that's true.
Matt, for our 50th episode, which album are we reviewing?
Since it's the big 5-0, we're talking about The Police, Synchronicity.
Matt, you've got that excited look on your face.
Oh, boy.
Why is that?
It's our 50th episode, first of all, so I'm excited about that. But also, it's another time for another installment of Kenny Gmail. Kenny Gmail is our opportunity to share real, legitimate email that has come in to us from you, the listener. The Gmail is where it's at, finestworksongs@gmail. So please send us your questions, your thoughts. We get so much of it. We really want to share it with the listeners on our episode. So we've got a few Kenny Gmails to share today. This first one, the author, no name, but the author is Fitness Tips Day. I'm guessing it's a legit business.
But that's not the name?
It's not the name.
Okay. I had a friend in high school named Fitness Tips. I didn't know if it was the same one.
Maybe she got married.
I guess.
Someone whose last name is Day.
Yeah.
Fitness Tips Day writes, would you mind if I share your blog with my MySpace group? There's a lot of folks I think would really enjoy your content. Please let me know. Cheers.
When did we get that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
2005. Do we have a MySpace account?
Maybe we need one.
I mean,
I've been dismissing it for 17 years now, but
it's coming back.
Yeah, it's making a return.
What was before MySpace? Friendster?
I believe Carrier Pigeon.
MySpace was the first legitimate. Well, I think it was the first one I took serious. Thanks to our sponsor, MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace. One more Kenny Gmail, and this comes from Leah Renard Bubbalo.
Thank you, Ms.
That's
Bubbalo.
name. Hi there, colleagues. It's great article regarding teaching and completely explained. Keep it up all the time.
Thanks for the encouragement, Bubbalo.
Bubbalo.
Does she have a podcast or a site?
www.filmmod.org. It's probably some sort of motion picture blog or...
We might need to message her back because it says that Safari can't open the page.
Oh, that's too bad. Maybe we should send her a note, tell her we're having trouble opening her internets. There you go.
All right.
Always appreciate the Kenny Gmail that comes in.
The sincerity, the attention to detail.
Integrity.
Yeah. To all the Bubbalos out there, We thank you.
The Insane Clown Posse has the Juggalos. We've got the Bubbalos. Those are our fans.
Wait, that's what their fans are called?
They're called Juggalos.
Why?
I have no idea. They have like conventions and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Are they still a band?
I don't
Was
know.
that ever a band? It feels
sure.
like a band that the Joker put together in one of the Batman movies. All right, as always, we start with our memories. So, Matt, what are your memories of the police Synchronicity?
So I was 8 years old, and that was when MTV was like hitting its stride. I was there for it too. Obviously, being 8, I didn't have like the earlier police stuff,
Right.
I was still jamming to my Chipmunks, singing the Beatles album, And so
Yeah.
just really getting into music at that point. But
What was it that really stood out? Because there's a lot of great music out there at that time.
I think just the accessibility of Every Breath You Take, again, because it was, you listen to top 40 radio, it was on all the time. It's a catchy song, but it's also not like overtly pop song. It just really jumped out at me as being different than a lot of other stuff that was coming on the radio at that time.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your memory of the police Synchronicity?
In high school, I fell for this girl. She was the valedictorian.
Mm-hmm.
I was definitely not in her social circles, but somehow I convinced her to go to a party with me. We kind of started liking each other. She took me to dinner at her house. Her dad was real straight-laced, and he did not like me at all. Here's his valedictorian daughter dating this slacker. Her dad's doing everything he can to break us up, and it works. She realizes that she can't throw away her future for love, and so, she breaks up with me. And then so what I do is at dawn, I show up at their house. I get a boom box.
Yep. Sure.
Yep. You heard? Okay. And I'm standing outside.
The story's legendary by now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm holding this boom box up. This beautiful love song starts playing. I just turned on the radio because whatever.
Yeah.
It was Every Breath You Take.
Yeah.
It worked. She came outside. We embraced. And her dad was like, did you hear that song? It's a creeper song. He's like threatening you. He's stalking you, And she's like, I know. But it was so romantic, Dad. I mean, he's holding up that boombox for hours. He must be like the king of pain at this point. And her dad was like, don't you dishonor our family and, more importantly, the brilliance of Sting and the police by referencing one of their songs off their 5th and final album, Synchronicity, in reference to this loser.
Wow.
And I was like, what is going on? He's like, listen, before I call the police, I'm going to give you the police. And he gave me the Synchronicity.
What a descriptive retort back to you from a musically knowledgeable dad.
That's what they do to people.
Gee, what were you wearing when you were holding up this boombox?
I think like trench coat.
Yeah, just a trench coat.
Yeah.
Maybe that was his problem.
Part of the problem. Because I'm holding the boombox, it comes untied. It's the wind starts blowing it open. I'm like,
You can't drop the boom.
Yeah,
what do I
that's
do?
right.
I mean, kind of surprised that the dad just wasn't like, you'd be better off dead at this point. Or, I mean, if you could like hop into like a hot tub time machine and go back and do it all over again.
Was he in Hot Tub Time Machine?
Was,
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't see Hot Tub Time Machine?
I don't know.
Oh, man, you're missing out.
For real, though, Matt, as you know, I had older sisters, older brother. They all were into the police, but particularly my sister Carrie. She would have been in middle school, high school when Synchronicity came out, but she had loved the police. It was indoctrinated. I remember getting into an argument in 2nd grade with all of my classmates because they liked I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett.
Sure.
I remember having an argument with them saying, that's not rock and roll. The police are
There
rock
you
and
go.
roll.
There you go.
Yeah. So even back then I was...
You were a pretentious
Yeah.
music fan.
Yeah, that's right.
I
I
love it.
knew like the police were everywhere.
That's what having older siblings will do.
But also like you, the police were everywhere on MTV and undeniable.
This was their last album. Man, what an album to go out on. It's sort of like a TV series that goes on too long and you're like, oh, they probably should have just stopped after the 3rd season or something like this. With the police, they did. They go out after this. It leaves you wanting more. It leaves you wondering what else they could have done.
And they all went on to have brilliant solo careers.
Oh, man.
So
Yeah, gosh.
my sister went and saw the police and REM opened.
Oh, wow.
Famously was booed off the stage. She remembers, she's like, I was pretty close and we all booed REM because nobody knew who they were. I think that was an example of probably the Copeland connection.
Yeah.
Stewart's
IRS
brother
records.
and IRS records. Murmur had been big, but not big enough.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I hear that and I go, man, what a concert to have been at.
Yeah, and Joan Jett.
Oh,
It was REM.
Oh,
Jam
it was like
and
your
the
high,
Police.
your school fisticuffs.
I went in. I was like, see, she opens for them.
How can you say you love rock and roll when you don't agree with her?
It is kind of funny that I was arguing against a song called "I Love Rock and Roll." It's extremely rock and roll, that song.
Whereas like every Police song is like a mix of reggae
Yeah.
and like
Jazz. World music. I'm like,
This
"That's
is rock and roll,
this is
man."
it. Don't you know? All right, Matt. Well, let's jump into Synchronicity. It begins with the title track, Synchronicity 1.
With one breath, with one flow, you will know synchronicity. A sleep trance, a dream dance, a shared romance. Synchronicity, a connecting principle to the invisible, almost imperceptible, something inexpressible, science insusceptible, magic so inflexible, causally connected, nothing is invincible. If we share this nightmare, we can dream spiritus mundi. If you act as you think, the missing link, synchronicity, a connecting principle.
I'm fully aware that what I'm about to say comes from someone who is a big Rush fan, but there's a lot of pretentiousness with the Police. Even with the album cover to this, each band member, documentary style photos with a different color kind of striped across them.
That's right.
And you've got Sting sitting there reading like a Carl Jung book.
And next to a skull or a skeleton.
Skeleton, yeah. I mean, I don't say any of this to take away from it because I absolutely love Synchronicity, the album. I love the song. There is a little bit of this, like, this means a lot and it means like nothing.
I think of just rich white frat boys sitting around rocking out to Stewart Copeland.
Yeah.
You know, and this
Yeah.
is playing at parties, but also they're getting deep, talking about the theory of synchronicity and Carl Jung.
Yeah, right. Who else works the phrase spiritus mundi
Yeah.
into a song lyric? Which I never knew that's what it said. And
How many college essays were written on or included synchronicity?
yeah.
I'll bet there's so
There's
many in
gotta
the
be
early
tons.
80s.
If like Dead Poet Society had actually taken place in the 80s, they would have stood up on the desk and quoted Synchronicity
Are you familiar with the theory of synchronicity?
a tiny bit.
I looked up because I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's the theory that like something that is seemingly coincidental is somehow connected.
Like a phone call or a starfall,
Yeah.
they're somehow connected.
Carl Jung used it to talk about like paranormal events.
Okay.
Like to come up
Sure.
with a reason. And so Sting said, "Is there any meaning in coincidence? That's what I wanted this record to be about." And then he says, "I'm not sure if it comes off or not." Whatever, Sting.
Sting, if that even is your real name.
Yeah,
oh,
did
really?
his parents name him Sting, Matt?
His mama call him Sting, I'm gonna call him Sting.
Apparently people called him Sting because he wore a sweater that looked like a...
A bee?
Yes, so by this point, the police have gotten to a level of fame and also hubris that would have them write an album like Synchronicity
Yeah.
with the themes and the pseudo-intellectualism. But man, it rocks.
It does rock. I mean, at this point, I think it's still tough to make synthesizers rock. They figured out a way to do it.
It's a great album opener,
It is a great album opener.
especially for this album. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It definitely sets the stage for this album. We get to talk about the theory of synchronicity.
That's right. You know, we could talk about how pretentious they are, but it's difficult when you look at how quickly they rose to fame.
Oh, yeah.
I could see where they would get proud. You look as good as Sting,
Yep.
and you're as talented as he is, and then you're in this hit band, and then you're in Dune. I
Say
mean,
no more.
You know, did Sting become Sting, or did we make Sting?
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's,
that's synchronicity.
that is synchronicity.
Yeah, so Sting, Gordon Shumner. By now, everybody knows him. He's one of those one-name people like Prince and Madonna. Over 100 million records he's sold.
Countless turtles, I'm sure he saved, too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So he meets Stewart Copeland in November of 76. And Stewart was playing for a prog rock band called Curved Air. I guess Sting wasn't the only pretentious
Yeah,
one.
guess not. Man.
Sting was playing in a jazz rock fusion band.
Of course.
But
he
they were
was.
awesome. 2 months later, he moves to London and goes to jam with Stewart Copeland. They have different iterations, move around. They end up in a band with Andy Summers, who is like 10 years older than
Yeah.
them. Andy Summers today, do you know how old he is?
I'm going to say 75?
79.
79.
Yeah.
That's
Andy
crazy.
had been sort of a studio guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is when punk was rising up, and you got to think London
Yep,
in
yep.
1977, 78. And so they took more of that approach, but they had this background of jazz rock fusion.
Prog rock.
And prog rock. And so the punk scene didn't really accept them.
Yeah.
They saw them as outsiders, but they had enough punk to really stand out.
And Andy Summers had probably played with like the Glenn Miller Orchestra or something. So you probably like the classical stylings to it.
They had been a band less than a year as the Police when they released Roxanne.
Good start
Yeah. 3 more albums of hits.
in a pretty short amount of time.
Second album is October 79. So we got August 78, October 79. That was the first of 4 consecutive UK #1 albums.
Wow.
And that's Message in a Bottle and Walking on the Moon. A year later, October 1980, Zenyatta Mandata with Don't Stand So Close to Me.
Speaking of creeper songs.
Yeah, right. And they're touring the world.
Yeah.
Definitely hit at the right time because they were sort of riding the wave of punk that became new wave. They can kind of play in either pond.
Yeah.
As well as jazz rock fusion.
Yeah, sure.
Prog rock.
Big band.
Yeah.
Andy Summers in the studio is like, hey, when me and Robert Johnson were jamming, this is what we used to play.
He walks in there. He's like, what's all this fancy stuff? Where's the tin can? Good enough for Robert and me. Yeah, so they become essentially the biggest band in the world.
In a really short amount of time
Yeah,
to do that.
and we're talking, their first gig was in August 77. 3 years later, really, they're the biggest band in the world.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Andy's like, we got to get a move on. I'm running out of time.
This clock is ticking.
The
babe.
arthritis in my hands is just a beast. So tons of hits. They can do whatever they want. And they decide to do Synchronicity. So after that Carl Jung inspired poetry slam, we've got, I think, what was the birth of
Rainforest Cafe.
Andy, can you make a monkey sound with your guitar?
Thought of all that you could see, just a little bit like me, walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps. Hey, Mr. Dinosaur, you really couldn't ask for more. You're God's favorite creature, but you didn't have a future. Walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps. Hey, mighty brontosaurus, don't you have a lesson for us? Thought your rule would always last. There were no lessons in your past. You were built 3 stories high. They say you would not hurt a fly. If we explode the atom bomb, would they say that we were dumb? We're walking in your footsteps, walking in your footsteps.
So we start off with a Carl Jung inspired treatise on synchronicity and followed up with a atomic bomb warning song correlating us to the plight of the dinosaurs. So
Yeah.
man, it's a uplifting rocker already.
I love Hey Mr. Dinosaur. You know that blonde hair they have? It's not their normal hair color.
It's for a commercial, right?
Yeah, for a Doublemint gum commercial. Which,
Was it Doublemint Gum?
yeah.
Oh, that's
They've been a
great.
band for like a year and they're doing a Doublemint gum.
We've got one request. You've got to die. Okay, we'll do it.
And it's funny that they never dyed it back.
Right. Everybody comes expecting the Doublemint triplets.
Yeah. What if they'd been riding a triplet bicycle?
All in like striped shirts.
Yeah.
They see like 3 like hot girls and they wreck the bicycle.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, it's like a Three's Company kind of.
I was not allowed to watch that show. But you know what? I did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did.
It's funny what you remember from childhood.
Right.
I remember being, I don't know, probably 5, watching Three's Company because I had older siblings. I just remember where Jack gets drunk one night and he got a tattoo of a heart on his butt. Mr. Roper was laughing and he kept referring to it as the love butt, which is very timely because the Love Boat was a big
Sure.
show. But I remember being 5 and being like, the love butt, and there's a heart on his butt, and it's like the Love Boat. The writing on this show is amazing.
You're like,
Yeah.
you're applauding. It's like,
Gosh. Influential.
I mean, again, this is not your blueprint for a rock song at all.
No.
Got these weird world music rhythms and
Yeah.
weird feedback and
Andy does a good job of making those jungle sounds with the guitar. It's pretty good. Stewart's in the background just tinkering around.
Yeah.
It just sounds so dumb to me. Listen to it with headphones. When Sting is singing Walking in Your Footsteps, in the background, Stewart Copeland is tapping on different parts of the drum, but they pan it right and left.
left, right.
Yeah, like
left,
you're
right.
walking. Walk, walk, tap, tap. It's like, oh my gosh, y'all. It's the best you could do.
At this point, they were really very reggae and punk influenced. Yeah, I think they wanted to kind of get away from that. They did it with the walking in your footsteps.
Yeah.
For sure.
It reflects the fact that they were very much a studio band at this point, and they were totally not getting along. And so they're recording in different spaces. Sting's in the control room. Stewart's in the living room. Andy's in the bathroom because he doesn't have enough depends to keep him going, so he just hangs out in the bathroom. But you could see where, you get to tinker in and come up with something like this.
You've got time on your hands because they're all in different rooms. They're all, I think, mixing individually.
Right.
You've got plenty of time to listen to remixes and overdubs and think, oh, this would be a cool part to have what sounds like footsteps walking left, right. And,
Yeah.
But I also think walking in your footsteps gives us a taste of in some semblance of what Sting's solo stuff is going to end up being.
That's true.
Very world
When he's
music.
at the helm. Yep. All right, we're going to jump to the end of side 1 with Synchronicity 2. Has Andy played his guitar yet?
I don't think so.
Another suburban family morning. Grandmother screaming at the wall. We have to shout above the din of our Rice Krispies. We can't hear anything at all. Mother chants misery of boredom and frustration. We know all the suicides are fake. Daddy always stares into the distance. There's only so much more that he can take. Many miles away, something crawls from this line at the bottom of a dark Scottish lake. Another industrial ugly morning. The factory bell shares filth into the sky. He walks unhindered through the picket lines today. He doesn't think to wonder why. Secretaries powdered green like cheap tarts in a red light street. But all he ever thinks to do is watch. And every single meeting with his so-called superior, there's a humiliating kick in the crotch. Many miles away, something crawls to the surface of a dark Scottish loch.
First and foremost, Stewart Copeland is probably one of the few drummers who If I heard the snare drum, I would think, that must be Stewart Copeland.
Yeah.
It's such a loud, distinctive snare sound.
That's true. Interestingly enough, Hugh, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, Pagam or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's the guy who invented the gated reverb sound that we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, you might be like, what's that? It's the 80s drum sound.
Yeah.
It's the sound where there's a ton of reverb, so it sounds like this swell of sound and immediately gets cut off. Most famously heard in Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight. They're 3.5 minutes into this song.
Yeah.
And they haven't had any drums at all. So they're like, not only do we have something really good, we're going to make you wait for it.
I think the other thing about Synchronicity, too, is how dark the lyrics are.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you think about the story that's being told here,
Yeah, what is the story here?
sort of a commentary on middle class, fathers going off to work, a job that they don't really enjoy. They're not factory workers, so they can bust through the picket line to get to their job.
He walks unhindered through the picket lines. Maybe he's not standing up for anything.
He's part of the machine. He goes to work. He's not happy. The wife and mother is at home faking her suicides, probably.
They describe the dad and all of us as contestants in a suicidal race.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Driving home, packed like lemmings, sees the family in the headlights as he's pulling up, which conjures up this kind of image of like, all right, kids, let's get outside and welcome your dad home from work. But no one's glad to see anybody.
They're all miserable.
But
But then what he sees is a shadow on the door of a cottage on the shore of a dark Scottish lake.
So you got the Loch Ness Monster.
So,
This, again, the synchronicity kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
It's representing the monster that is the father or this domestic life. And
something beneath the surface.
yeah, it's bubbling up. I'm sure this wasn't the first song to deal with kind of like the mundane, everyday struggles of, just kind of getting through the day. But man, is it dark. I mean, suicide's in here twice.
So I found a quote here. Sting says that Synchronicity 2 is about two parallel events, the Loch Ness Monster and this man, that aren't connected logically or causally, but symbolically. That's Synchronicity.
Thanks,
right there.
Professor Sumner. Do you remember the video for this?
Oh, yeah.
And they're standing on the big giant heap of guitars
huge
and
towers.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Mad Max.
Andy's playing this weird guitar with no head to it.
Yep.
Some stupid early 80s version of a guitar.
Right.
But he's surrounded by these like broken guitars.
Yeah, they're just all wearing like torn shirts.
Yeah.
They're flapping in the wind.
In the early 80s, we believed that in the post-apocalyptic world, everybody's clothes gets ripped all the time.
But you still have headbands. Somehow.
That's right. Killer makeup.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Clothes are just shreds.
Yeah.
That's just how it's going
And we
to
still
be.
somehow found hair dye to keep our hair blonde.
There's tons of aerosol hairspray available, but not shirts.
Food or
that
water
hold.
or
Yeah.
full clothes.
It's the police, but he's the front man. That's where part of the tension arose between him and Stewart Copeland. They were famous for not getting along, but I think more it was Andy Summer being like, boys, settle down. I've got to get some
Come
sleep.
sit on my knee and I'll tell you a story.
Have a Werther's and calm down.
I do love a Werther's.
You totally do. Just like you love butterscotch ice
Oh,
cream.
man. Butter pecan.
Butter pecan, yeah.
Me and Andy would get along
You guys are
famously.
great. Yeah, so you've got these two personalities. Stewart started the band.
Yeah.
In his mind, it's his band.
And he's the taller of the three.
So tall.
Yeah.
An incredible drummer.
All right.
I remember when I got into Dave Matthews Band in early college, playing it for my brother, and my brother was aware of it. And I was talking about how good Carter was on the drums. And he said, yeah, when I was in college, that was Stewart Copeland. Like, that's the drummer that everyone talked about, the baddest drummer or whatever. So Stewart knows he's really good.
He's got his brother owning the record label.
That's right. He's got his father figure, Andy. You got these two competing personalities. It's tough when there are competing personalities and someone is being pushed to the front as a front man.
Yeah.
It's like No Doubt.
It's exactly like No Doubt.
Don't speak.
Yep.
It's the video that was basically about the police. Well, I'm sure we'll get to No Doubt.
Oh, yeah, at least once. One of the singles, they produced different covers for the single.
Oh, yeah.
And one of them, 75% of them were Sting.
Yeah, like if they release 10,000,
Yeah.
1,000's Andy, 1,000's
Stewart,
Stewart, and then 8,000 are
Sting, and so to everyone probably on the outside, you're looking back and you're going, well, yeah, obviously Sting was the guy.
Right.
If you're going to hitch your horse to any of those three, it's going to be Sting.
Sting went on to have an incredibly successful solo career, while Stewart and Andy did not.
Did not. Not quite.
Did you know that Queensryche covered this song? Is he even on pitch?
I don't think he is.
Ew. He's really not on.
He's not on.
Another suburban Saturday morning. Grandmother screaming at the wall.
I wish he would pronounce his words more clearly.
To shout about the dinner virus Krispies.
Enunciate more.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Wow. Who is Queensryche? I mean, I remember their stupid song, but what are they doing? All right, so that closes out side one.
Mm-hmm.
And side two begins with a song you may have heard.
Every breath you take, and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. Every single day, and every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Oh, can't you see? You belong to me. I'm a poor heart aches with every step you take, every move you make, every vow you break, every smile you fake, every claim you stake. I'll be watching you. Since you're gone, I've been lost without a trace. I dream at night, I can only see your face. I look around, but it's you I can't replace. I feel so cold and I long for your embrace. I keep crying, baby, baby, please.
One of my favorite misheard lyrics of all time when he says, how my poor heart aches. And people thought he said, I'm a pool hall ace.
Who thought that? Was that a thing?
I think it was a thing. Well,
Okay.
it was all right, I'm trying to make it a thing.
Right, right.
So let me first off say that this still might be my absolute favorite song of all time.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I know it was definitely from 1983 till 2005, hands down.
So 98, somebody comes up and they're like, quick, what's your favorite song ever? You're like,
Every breath you take, easy.
easy.
And it might
Next
still
question.
be. Yeah. What's your favorite movie of all time? Billy Madison. Keep rolling. I do love, like, when you read, like, how this song came about. He's sitting in the Caribbean at the desk of Ian Fleming, who wrote James Bond.
That's right.
When he comes up with this song. Of course he's going to write dismissive songs about middle-class people going to work.
Yeah.
And suicide machines and things like that.
So bougie.
He's like, I'm sitting at the Golden Eye Estate in the Caribbean, leaving my wife for another woman.
For her best friend.
Her best friend. I'm going to write a song that's going to be one of the biggest songs ever about it.
Yeah.
So many people think it's like a love song.
Dude, this was on every mixtape
Oh, yeah.
that I made for girls. And I'm talking high school, you know? It's like 10 years later, but it's like, every breath you take, check. I had my standards, and this was a standard for the mixtape.
What else was on there?
Definitely In Your Eyes.
Oh,
The
yeah.
live version.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yes. Yeah.
More Than Words by
Oh,
Extreme.
boy.
That would have gone on a mixtape.
The butt.
Close with that. Man, mixtapes were everything.
Gosh.
Kids today,
I just
missing out.
Don't understand the
Nah.
power of a mixtape.
And the message of a mixtape.
Oh, man.
You give somebody a mixtape, that's like a
betrothal.
it's like giving somebody a goat in the 17th century. It's happening.
We are doing this.
You're locked in now. No going back. But yeah, man, this song, I knew the lyrics. I knew it was a little creepy, but still, I think it's kind of a love song.
The video was huge. I mean, it's just a black and white video. I mean,
Yep.
not pretty simple, and with this video, you can see, I mean, they show Stewart Copeland, they show Andy Summers, but like Sting is it. Close-ups of his face.
This is the one apparently that they got in a huge fight over. Came to blows.
The song or the video?
The song.
Okay.
Stewart Copeland wanted to play more. Surprise. And Sting was insisting on just the simple beat that's in there. Sting was right.
Yeah.
If Stewart had played more, they would have busied up the song.
So essentially every other Police song has some Stewart Copeland fill in it. you
Yeah,
know,
and the little
along the way. With the symbol.
Yeah, with the symbol.
Yeah.
And he's incredible.
Yeah.
But that's hard probably at this point. Because what you're saying to Stewart is, I'm Sting, this is my song.
Yeah.
And that's less of we're in a band. That's
Yeah.
you do what I say.
Yeah.
And Stewart wasn't having it. So they fought. I wonder who would have won that fight. I feel like Stewart would be wild, quick throwing
He'd come out the
punches.
gate like a bull. Sting would be wily and
He'd
smart.
be well
and
disciplined.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he knows like jujitsu, even though he's never studied it. Because he's read so many books by Carl Jung.
And he's read The Art of War like 600 times.
Yeah.
He's memorized
In the
it.
original language. Meanwhile, Andy Summers had no problem playing less.
Yeah.
Because he was always playing less
Right.
growing up. Guitar magazines, probably once a year or every other year, Andy Summers would come up on the cover.
Right.
And it was always about how underrated he was.
Yeah.
Because he played very unique chords. He's the only guitarist they could have had. The bass and the drums are really so busy and driving everything. You couldn't have Andy just wailing away. He is underrated. He
Yeah.
came up with this guitar part and apparently went in there, one take, just laid it down.
And it's a hard guitar part. Like Sweet Child of Mine. It's one of those opening riffs that everybody knows.
Yeah.
But like even like the best guitarists have trouble kind of mastering
And
it.
making it sound just like he did.
Right.
So
Plus, he was also worried if he got in the middle of a fight between the three of them, his blood pressure would probably get too high. And
I wonder if Andy came in when they were fighting and grabbed him each by the ear.
he hit him with his cane to separate them.
We love talking about kind of 1983, 1984. So we're at the Grammy Awards.
Okay.
Who do you think was hosting?
1983.
Yep.
Hosting it.
Yep.
Dionne Warwick. I don't know.
That's a good guess. I'll give you 3 hints.
Okay.
1, country.
Okay.
2, Rhodes. 3, Take Me Home.
John Denver hosted.
Yeah.
John
John Denver.
Was Kermit the co-host?
It's a song of the year. They're up against Lionel Richie, All Night Long. Michael Jackson, Beat It.
Wow.
Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. And then these two people who wrote Maniac.
Oh gosh.
How's Maniac up for Song of the Year? I'm going to play the video of this being announced
Okay.
by Stevie Wonder and Bob Dylan.
Nice.
And the winner is, you know what? Hold on, let's just figure out that stuff.
Stevie's
You
ripping
know
up
what?
the thing.
Every year the same old thing happens, right? You say, and the winner is, and they go, dun, 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 dun. But this time we're gonna do something different and unique and special. Okay, in the 80s. This is the 80s, right? So
It sure
we
is.
want to get you all here to decide.
Bob Dylan looks so uncomfortable.
Is it song number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, or 5?
Bob
You all
Dylan's
say,
not
which one is
smiling.
it?
Well,
Also,
Oh,
Bob
it'll never
Dylan's wearing
work.
like a
It'll never
Western
work.
get up.
You gotta do it the old-fashioned way.
Let me look at that. Let me see that.
Stevie says, let me see that.
let me see that.
Even he's making
gotta
blind
knock-
jokes about himself in the 80s. Bob Dylan, he's wearing some kind of Western getup. And what I mean by that, you should
Like
look it up.
rhinestone cowboy kind of
No,
thing?
like the
a bolo tie?
No, not even the bolo tie. It was kind of the tie that had like the strips coming
Oh,
off.
yeah.
You know, like the
Like he's in the band or something. Well, he was in the
I
band.
guess, yeah. But Bob is not smiling the whole time. Stevie's having the time of his life,
Oh, man.
just doing his
Making
comedy
blind
bit.
jokes.
It's amazing. And then at the end, Sting's not even there. They say in 2003, Sting was making an average of $2,000 per day in royalties for that song only.
Jeez.
All of his
Royalty
income
is from that song.
is a quarter of that is from this song. It's number 84 on Rolling Stone's top 500 songs of all time.
But it could have been better, according to Stewart Copeland.
Yeah, Stewart's like, oh, I'm glad you like it.
It's kind of funny, his comment, because it's more of an indictment on like them than the song.
What did he say?
My humble opinion, this is Sting's best song with the worst arrangement.
Wow.
I think Sting could have had any other group do the song and it would have been better than our version, except for Andy's brilliant guitar part. Basically, there's an utter lack of groove. It's a totally wasted opportunity for our band, even though we made gazillions off of it, and it's the biggest hit we ever had.
Andy's part's brilliant.
There are 3 parts to this band.
Yeah.
Andy hit it out of the park.
No, but even that, he's saying how Sting played it.
Well, that's true.
And
Yeah.
then the crap that he made me play.
Yeah.
Andy was great.
Andy was great.
But everything else.
Everything else was dreck.
That's ridiculous, man. He needs to let that go. As good as this song is, it definitely starts giving you an idea of the direction Sting is going.
Mm-hmm.
The minstrel stuff, with all the
Yeah,
loot
right.
and stuff. The number one soundtrack to Renaissance fairs across the world. So he starts to go that soft route.
Yeah.
Because, man, early years, this is Police early years.
Sting's having none of this.
I didn't realize how much guitar Andy used to play. Wow.
Yeah, he was younger.
Yeah.
He could do it then.
There's a little black spot on the sun today. It's the same old thing as yesterday. There's a black hat caught in a high tree top. There's a flagpole rack and the wind won't stop. I have stood here before inside the pouring rain, with the world turning circles running round my brain. I guess I'm always hoping that you'll end this way, but it's my destiny to be the king of pain. There's a little black spot on the sun today. It's my soul of pain. It's the same old thing as yesterday. It's my soul of pain. There's a black hat caught in a high tree top. It's my soul of pain. There's a flagpole rag and the wind won't stop. It's my soul of pain. I stood here before inside the pouring rain, with the world turning circles running round my brain. I guess I'm always hoping that you'll end this rain, but it's my destiny to be the king of pain.
Lyrically, he paints a very vivid picture. Thinking about a black spot on the sun, you're
Yeah.
seeing a black cat in the tree. I mean, it's Loch Ness Monsters. It's all this stuff that you can see really well.
Not only does he write that way, he actually talks that way. Because this is Sting describing this song. He said, I just left my first wife. I went to Jamaica to
course
try
he
and pull
did.
myself together.
Oh, poor guy.
I was looking at the sun one day. I was with Trudy, who is now my current wife, and said, look, there's a little black spot on the sun today. And there's a pause. I said, that's my soul up there. I was full of hyperbole. I said that. I went back in and wrote it down on a piece of stuff and wrote some other stuff. All a direct quote.
This is not like a bright, uplifting album.
It's pretty dark.
It's a dark album. It's not your prototypical hit pop album by any stretch.
But they were huge enough to be beloved by people who love college rock and indie stuff, are still can't deny some of the Police work.
Yep.
Every pop listener is going to go buy it for Every Breath You Take.
It's just weird enough to be critically acclaimed.
Right.
Because it's full of hyperbole and
Yeah.
literary and psychological and sociological references and archaeological references.
The uppity music critics
Yeah.
are
This
going
is-
to eat
phew.
this up.
in their wheelhouse.
All right. So, heralded album.
Huge commercially.
created amidst tension and also showed the direction in which Sting was headed. He broke up the band at Shea Stadium when they played there, famously like the Beatles did, to 70,000 people. They went out on top.
Yeah.
Which there's something to be said for it.
In some ways, it's similar to like Creedence Clearwater Revival in that in just a short amount of time produced an amazing body of work, really with one guy kind of as the focal point, and then tension breaks it up and you're done.
So listeners, one thing we try and challenge one another with is if you had to remove a song from an album, which would it be? And so Matt, Sting has his lute.
Ooh.
And he's going to stand outside your window like Lloyd Dobler and say anything. Instead of holding a boombox, he's going to play his lute if you don't pick a song to remove from Synchronicity. So if you had to, which one would it be?
It's worth noting that this, our 50th Epipod, this is the easiest one I've had to do on. You know it.
Yep.
This
is the easiest choice.
Is this a novelty song?
Yeah. And in track 4 position.
Right.
Like a key position.
Like you look at track 4. You look at track 4 like across album history.
It's a key spot.
It's a key spot.
You would think Every Breath You Take would be there.
Did Andy Summers win a bet or did he lose a bet?
Right.
For them to include this song on it. 20 and 30 years ago, I kind of like enjoyed it for how like ridiculous it is. For like, oh man, he really does not like his mother. But man, is that an awful song. No wonder Stewart Copeland was ticked off because he's like, I could have done a drum solo for 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That would have been way better.
That would have been better. There's no argument from me. And that just goes to show like even Miss Grodenko, which is Stewart Copeland's song, it's fine.
It's catchy.
Let Sting write the songs. Just get out of the way. You've got Sting in your band.
Yeah.
Let him write King of Pain.
Yeah.
And play what he tells you to play. Throw your punches.
Just get out of the way.
Make your money.
Cash your check.
And just wait for him to call you for a reunion tour.
Right.
Because I don't care how much you hate him. You say yes every time, guys. Stuart, looking at you.
Yep.
All right. For Epipod number 50, we did The Police.
We're excited because coming up in an upcoming episode, we're gonna have a special guest.
Oh, who's that?
Andy Summers.
Oh, I might need to re-edit this one.
Yeah, that's
Are you listening? Are you listening right now?
Thank you all so much for listening to Finest Work Songs and engaging with us on social media at Finest Work Songs on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook as well. And be sure to keep those emails coming, finestworksongs@gmail.com. Who knows? Maybe we'll play yours as part of an upcoming Kenny Gmail segment.
So next time we want to leave this loveliness in your ears. Our theme song is by the incredible band Medium Heat. This track is called Radio, and you should check them out at mediumheat.bandcamp.com. They are on Facebook at Medium Heat Music.